If you're building your website or want to take your website to the next level, there are some great tools that'll make it much easier. In this video, I am going to give you my top recommendation on tools that'll make building an awesome website a breeze. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Liquid's Digital Marketing Podcast. This is episode 64, and today we are talking about tools that's going to help make building an awesome website so much easier. So I'm going to be referring to a lot of URLs in this one. So you're definitely going to want to check out the show notes because a lot of these tools are a website where you can go and get these resources. So I have 11 different tools that I use regularly and that I recommend to you, and it's really going to make building or even taking your already built website to the next level. So let's start off. The very first thing that we want to tackle when building and designing a website is the font, right? So let's select good fonts for your website. And there's a tool out there that is a font pairing tool. So if let's say you have a font that you want to use, what is another font that would go well with it? What you don't want to do is have a ton of different fonts. You want to keep your fonts consistent. So choosing a pairing tool will help you do that. The tool I recommend is called fontpair.co. So go to fontpair.co, and what it's going to do, it's going to allow you to create really cool fonts. Another font tool is Google Fonts. So you can go to Google Fonts and you can find some really awesome fonts there. The great thing about Google Fonts is they're all web-friendly fonts. So if you see it there, you know that you can easily use it on your website. So if it's not a web-friendly font, sometimes it can be difficult to use it on your website. Okay, the next item is colors. So when you are designing your website, what you don't want to do is have a ton of different colors. You want to define your colors before you go in. So one of the coolest tools that I've recently come across is a color palette generator, and that is at happyhues.com. Happy Hues as in HUES.com. Happy Hues. Again, link in the show notes. What it's going to do is it's going to give you some really awesome color combinations, and it's even going to show you where to use those, and for your call to action or for the background color or the text color. So it's pretty cool, and it's going to give you color combinations that you would have never have come up with on your own. So another one is colormind.io. And the big difference with this one is it's going to allow you to input a color and then give you a color palette based off of that. So the one thing about the previous one, Happy Hues, is it's just going to give you colors. Well, maybe you have a brand color that you want to use or a color that you want to use, and it's Happy Hues isn't going to just magically give you that color. So with colormind.io, it's going to allow you to input a color, and then it's going to give you other colors that will work well with it. So that's the color tools I recommend. Okay, the next item is icons. So icons a lot of times will come already built into your website builders, whatever you're using out there. There's usually an icon widget and it's connected to some icon item. However, there are times where you want to not use the built-in icon finder, and you want to go get your own icon and use it maybe as an image or something else. So one tool is iconfinder.com. There are so many icons there. I would be surprised if you went there and didn't find what you were looking for. Again, iconfinder.com. And then it allows you to download that as an image, or you can even customize it, I believe, and then save it off as a different file types and use them on your website. The other one is fontawesome.com. That's probably one of the most widely used font systems out there for the web. And if you have a website that has a font, widget where you can just embed these fonts, most likely it's already attached to Font Awesome. But I find a lot of times I want to use that font independently as like an image. So I'll go to Font Awesome and actually download the font I want as a file, as an image. Then I can manipulate it and use it how I want to use it. The next one on the list is The next one on the list is Mockup Creator. So with mockups, basically what this is where you can put your branding or an image inside of another image. Like you can mock up and make these things. So like, let's say a t-shirt, right? So a t-shirt design, you can put your own mock-up, or a mug, or like packaging, or maybe it's a desk scene with a computer and you can put stuff on it. It's just a ton of different mock-ups that you can create, and it's going to, allow you to kind of put in your own like branding or your own image or your own look and feel to this mock-up. So that's Mockup Creators. That's not one that you will often use, but when you need it, you'll know, and you'll be like, how the heck am I going to achieve this? And I need to take this mug or a mug like this, and I need to put a logo on it, or I need to create something, that's 3D or, whatever. And that's going to allow you to do that. So go check out it's free-mockup.com. All right. Next one is illustrations. So these illustrations are basically not an image, right? Like a photo. It's actually like an illustration, like a cartoon of some type, or you see them all the time. So maybe it's like a clipboard, or someone writing on a whiteboard, or sun setting under a mountain, but it's, like a drawing, right? They're illustrations. Okay, so there is my recommendation to go get these illustrations. There's one that you can get a ton of great free illustrations, and I'm going to have to look and spell this out. It's lukasadam.com/illustrations. Again, I'll put the link in the show notes, but it's LUKASZ Adam.com. So check that out. You can go download all of these illustrations to use on your website however you see fit. They're really cool. I downloaded it, and there's a ton in there. The next item is form tools. So this is a lot of times people go to build their websites and they get to this point where like, oh wait, I need to add a form. Well, how am I going to do this, right? So sometimes these builders come with their own form, and sometimes those forms suck. Sometimes you need something else. And sometimes they don't. So you got to come up with how am I going to get a form onto my website? A form where they fill out their name, their email address, or whatever information. Maybe you have some more advanced ideas where you want to do some polls or something. So my number one recommendation, if you're using WordPress, is Gravity Forms. It's the form tool I use on all websites. It's basically, you can do anything with it. It connects to anything. It's pretty awesome. I built custom applications with it, or web apps with it. So it's very simple and very advanced at the same time. It's not free though. It is a paid plugin. So keep that in mind. Another one is Typeform. So this is actually a website. So if you go to Typeform, I believe it's typeform.com. But Typeform, Type, Typeform is going to, basically it's a third party website that is going to allow you to create a form and then embed it. So it's not dependent on WordPress or any type of platform. It's really for any platform, anything. So you can create a form and then just get a link and then share it, and now you can just send people to that form. Or you can embed it into your website. Typeform is going to allow you to create a lot of really cool different types of forms and give you a lot of styling and a lot of customization. And so that's a really cool form to go with. And then there is always the tried and true Google form, which we've all seen, which is very effective, right? It works. Like, you guarantee that that's going to work. Is it the most attractive? Nah, probably not. not really the most attractive. Is it the most professional? No, it's not. I mean, it doesn't look the most professional if you were to have a nice looking website and then take someone to a Google form. Not the most professional way to handle your forms. However, if you needed a form and someone to submit a form to you, it is a solution that works. So it's worth checking out. So it is always an option. Moving on to images, image tools for your website. So we have stock photos and stock videos. Where do you get these? So I recommend Pexels, Pexels.com, Pexels, or 123RF. That is more of a paid place where you will have to buy credits, but it has a much bigger inventory of images and videos to choose from. I would recommend starting at Pexels first because it's free. If you can't find something there, then move on to 123rf.com. So those are the image tools. The next one is the image editing, right? So you're going to download these images, or you're going to have images. You're going to need to resize them or crop them or do something to them, maybe adjust the colors, whatever. So there is, if you don't have an image editing software like Photoshop on your computer and you don't want to spend thousands to buy it, then you can go to photopea.com, photopea.com. And that is basically an online version of Photoshop. Now, it's not Photoshop online. It's not that. But what it is similar to Photoshop. So it's going to give you a lot of those same tools that is going to allow you to do different things with your images. So if you need to do a little bit more editing with your images, check that out. And then we have image resizing. So if you didn't catch in our previous 2 podcasts, we mentioned image sizing. And definitely, if you're interested in that, go listen to those podcasts because there's a ton of information there. But basically, this site is called Kraken.io. Krakin, Kraken.io. And basically, it's going to allow you to resize your images online. So changing the width and the height and the dimensions and all of this stuff and compressing it down into a smaller file size. So you want to upload small file size images to your website so that way your website loads faster. So that tool will allow you to do that. Okay, the next item is layout tools. So when it comes to layout and building your site, a lot of times where people really hit the wall is when it comes to laying out the content. So they're like, okay, I have all of this content, this verbiage that I need to put on here. I have these images and I have this video and I need to put it on here onto this page and I need it to look good. I need it to make sense and to flow. And that is a challenge for people who are not graphic designers, people who don't do this regularly. So there's a tool out there called templatemonster.com. With Template Monster, it's going to have all of these pre-designed layouts and templates. And what I recommend is one of 2 things. One, go to Template Monster and just look around. Like you can even search down to like your niche or your type of business. So then you can kind of see some different professional looking designs and layouts. So that's going to give you some inspiration on how to lay out different pages. And then you can just take that inspiration and make it your own, you know. Or if you can just purchase that template and implement it into your site. All right, the next item is planning tools. So planning out information before you build your website. So some planning tools that I recommend is a customer avatar. This is going to help you understand who your audience is. And in our next podcast, we'll be talking a lot more about that. So be sure to check that out when it comes out. But creating a customer avatar so you know who your audience is, you know who you're talking to. The next item is content planning. Planning out your content. Understanding, okay, these are the pages I'm going to need for my website. This is the content that's going to go on my website. We have created a tool just for you. It's called the Website Makeover Toolkit. And it's going to include an avatar builder. It's going to include your content planner. It's going to include a brand guideline template creator. It's going to include a 4-video series on how to create killer content for your main website pages. So it isn't free, but it is worth it, right? So it is, I want to say, $29.99 or $24.99. Check it out. I'll leave a link to it in the show notes here. And it's basically going to include all of your planning tools for building out your website. All right, there you have it. Again, this is my list of tools to use to build an awesome website. All of the links I will have in the show notes, so be sure to go check these out. If you don't use all of them, I guarantee you're going to use some of them. They're really good tools. They come backed by me. If you have any questions on them, let me know. Leave me a comment. Shoot me a message. We would love a review if you found this helpful. And if you know of anyone else that would find this beneficial, please share it with them. And until next time, have a great day.